best MMA show around the world. My name's Mighty. Thank you so much for joining me. Someone asked me the other day, hey, do you really think you have the best MMA show? And I was like, come on, man, I'm just joking around. I don't. It's the second best. So anyways, hey, let's jump into this. It's all fun and games, kids. We just like to have fun, share a little information, some knowledge, talk about some fights. You know, it's fun to do if you're a fight fan. This past weekend, I'll be honest, I didn't get to watch the Invicta fight. I was stuck out somewhere, I don't know where. Haven't had time to catch up. I just, kind of caught up on it on a variety of different MMA websites you can go to, see who lost, see who won. I did, however, watch World Series of Fighting on Saturday. Justin Gaethje he defended his title, basically beat Brian Foster with some serious leg kicks, and then does his backflip off the cage like normal, and then the Colorado Athletic Commission or Boxing Commission, whatever's out there, decides to suspend him indefinitely. No. They've already lifted it. He was suspended for 1 day. It's pretty ridiculous. Ben Folks from MMA Junkie actually has a little tidbit on it if you want to check that out. I was actually watching that. In any case, it's already been lifted. So for all the people that are watching it and saw the title of the episode, feel free to go to the end so you're not leaving comments saying, oh, you're talking about more stuff than what you put. Cry all you want, trolls. I talk about a little bit of everything. That's how we start the show. If you don't like it, there's the door, or there's the exit, or there's the delete button, or no, whatever the hell you want to do. I don't care. For the 17 of you that watch every week, thank you. And Crystal's dogs. So in any case, this coming week, actually, you know what? Before we get to that, there's a couple things. Looks like Cain Velasquez is targeted for UFC 200 against Travis Brown. I was actually thinking that since they haven't announced anything until today, I think it's unofficial, but the rumors leaking out, I thought they were going to try to release everything all at once and be like, boom, like this big, just landslide of information of fight matchups, but I guess that's not the case. So anyways, looks like that's targeted for UFC 200, which is in July. And also Diaz, he's still on the radar. Man, I gotta give it to him. He's saying all the right things. I was talking to my boy yesterday, aka Batman, and we're just having a nice little MMA chat. And Diaz has really been saying all the right stuff. He's in the media. He's not being that typical interviewee, how very subdued and this and that. He's actually he's doing his thing, man. I'm happy to say that he's representing NorCal, the 209, nicely. So I've always liked the Diaz brothers. So now let's start with this weekend. First of all, Friday night, ONE FC. You can watch that online. It's a pay-per-view online. They have a fight card on Friday. And then on Saturday, for the people in North America and surrounding area, we will have Fight Night on Saturday, even though it's technically Sunday where it's at, which is in Australia, down under. That was pretty bad, but we're going to move on. And that is going to be headlined by the big boys, Mark Hunt, the Super Samoan, and Frank Mir. I don't think Frank Mir has a nickname. The dude's been fighting. It'll be 15 years this summer, and I don't think he has a nickname. We need to get him a nickname. Fly, Brian, think of a nickname for this guy. I know you're all about those nicknames, and don't come up with Beast in 25-8 or whatever the hell that is. So I'm gonna talk about just the main event. There's some other definitely intriguing matchups on the card, which, by the way, will be free on Fox Sports 1 for the prelims and the main card. UFC Fight Pass will have the early prelims. I believe it's just 2 fights now. There's no UFC Fight Pass main event per se. I think they're just, because it's a non-pay-per-view, I think only on pay-per-view cards they do a UFC Fight Pass main event. I believe. I could be wrong. Feel free to call me out and correct me, because you do it anyway. But in any case, Frank Mir, as Brock Lesnar would say, against Mark Hunt. This is going to be off the top of my head freestyle. So I'll probably get stuff wrong. feel free to call me out. Mark Hunt comes into the UFC. He's basically part of a contract of different fighters that Zuffa got when they bought out Pride. And quite honestly, from what I've read, they didn't even want him per se. His record was fair at best, and he comes in, he makes his UFC debut against Sean McCorkle, and he gets submitted. So not a great way to make your UFC debut, especially when they're already thinking, like, do we even want this guy around here? So he kind of gets pissed, rightfully so. It's like, man, I'm worth something. I'm a human being. I got emotions, you know what I'm saying? So he goes on a 4-fight win streak and then hits a loss, and then he kind of gets on a up and down path. I believe in his last 6 fights, he's 2 wins, 3 losses, and a draw, I believe. The draw was back in 2013, December, coincidentally, right when I started the show, back when Debo Taylor was around. That fight happened. The next week, we had our very first episode, the debut of MMA Made. So that was one of the main fights we talked about. Candidate for Fight of the Year. I don't remember if it actually got Fight of the Year. I want to say it did, but it was a banger. It was just an all-out brawl. Mark Hunt ultimately gets to avenge that draw, and he does beat Bigfoot Antonio Silva. That was actually his last fight. So he is coming off a win. A little patchy. He did lose to Verdum. He got to fight for the title. And I believe he lost to Stipe somewhere in that category. Once again, this is freestyle off the top of my head. But I know he's coming off a win, and that was avenging his draw against Bigfoot. Frank Mir, he's been in the game forever, 2-time heavyweight champion. He's got a decent highlight reel of some submissions. Although, we haven't seen a submission from him in quite some time. It's been a few years now, but the last submission he got was insane. Big nog, this crazy Kimura, and if you've ever seen this fight, or if you haven't seen this fight, this is the fight you must check out. Nogueira knows he's in trouble, and it's like a deer in headlights, and he doesn't want to tap. These are big guys. These are heavyweights. Frank just, you could see that thing snap, and it's a fight night, hella people over, we're screaming. I said hella, that's a NorCal thing. We're screaming, yada, yada. I mean, it was insane. Frank Mir, I believe, is the only guy to ever submit and knock out Big Nog. So, it's crazy. He doesn't have a ton of submissions, which is surprising because his ground game it's legit. So, with that being said, Frank Mir did happen to get 2 wins back-to-back, but his last one, he's actually coming off a loss. He lost against Arlovsky. I was actually, every time I bet against either of these guys, Mark Hunt or Frank Mir, I always get it wrong. So, whoever I pick, it's going to be the wrong answer, so I probably won't pick an answer, but I'll kind of guess if that makes any sense, which it doesn't, but that's what I'm going to do. But in any case, as I always say, Todd Duffy had all this hype around him, and I thought Todd was going to beat Frank, and Frank knocks him out, man, just crazy. The fight before that, it was, I believe it was Bigfoot Silva that he beat. So I believe those are the 2 fights he had back-to-back that he won. And then going into the Arlovsky fight, one could assume that if he beat Arlovsky, because Arlovsky was on this nice little win streak, that maybe Frank gets another shot at the title. But that didn't happen. So Frank's coming off a loss. Hunt's coming off a win. I don't really know who to choose. I can say this. If Mark Hunt touches you with those big lunchbox fists of his, you're probably going to go to sleep. So I think Frank, he should take it down to the ground. Mark's always had a little bit of trouble with his ground game. He was a K1 kickboxer as well, so he definitely likes the standing game. But Frank's striking has gotten much better. He's been working really hard with Coach Lundell, and I've been watching some of the stuff they've been doing. So I think if Frank takes it to the ground, it's going to be a long night for Mark. And he just has to keep him at range, make sure he's staying at the end of his jab. If Mark gets inside, Mark likes to come in and throw kind of like these leaping left hands and right hands. And if that touches your chin, you're probably going to go to sleep. I don't know how this is going to go. Like I said, whoever I pick, it's going to be the wrong answer. So I really don't know who's going to win. I haven't checked the odds makers to see who's favorited. I mean, these guys, they both have the ability to win the fight. If I had to go out on a limb, I would probably go with Mark Hunt, but I just don't know. I really don't know. Anyways, is that a breakdown or what? I mean, it's so concrete on how I think it's going to... I have no idea. And that's why I love the fight game, because I'm sure the greater percentage of the population thought McGregor was going to kill Diaz, like John Anik. Nice tattoo, John. But you never know what's going to happen. I mean, look at the odds with Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holm. I mean, Ronda was like a minus 1,500 or a minus 1,100, whatever. It was insane, right? The odds of her being favorited. And Holly she put on a clinic. So you never know what's going to happen in the fight game, and that's why I love watching fights. So anyways, that's what I have for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. And as always, subscribe. Morbid Manor on YouTube. MMA Made Show on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Thank you. Have a good one.